Very interesting, lots of interesting industry speakers talking about some really pertinent topics.
The program is solid. Meeting up with the speakers, the chairperson is educational. I think most importantly, the opportunity to meet up with agencies, as we are doing at the breaks, as we are doing now, is outstanding.
It's been very thought-provoking, and I've taken lots of notes, which is always a really good sign. I'll definitely be having quite a few frank chats with my boss about what directions we should be heading in when I return back to UCB.
So I live close to Paris, near Versailles, in a beautiful area with lots of chateaux and forests. And when I don't work in the office, or when I'm not with my family, I disappear into like a secret world. It's a world probably most of you will have never accessed. It's a world that captures all your senses as soon as you enter it. So it sounds very comforting. It smells sweet. It sticks to your fingers when you touch it. And it tastes of honey. So it's the world of bees. So now, why look at bees in a congress like that? Well, innovation, and that's what I do at Pfizer, it happens most of the time when two things occur. One is if you have a bit of fun, and as you can see at Pfizer, you get paid for that. And if you bring two worlds together that are completely different. And that's what I'd like to do with you today. Right? I'd like to look at the world of bees and the world of business. And today I'd like to talk to you bees to be. So, what do bees know about service business? Well, if you think about it, in a hive, you have about 40,000 to 60,000 bees. So they need to know something about organizational structure, how you work together effectively. And I'll show you something, you'll be just amazed, right? In terms of services, well, I don't need to start about telling you about the bees and the flowers and what kind of services they provide. But certainly, nature has worked 220 million years on this business model to make it perfect. And nature doesn't tolerate anything superfluous. Nature is a master of working with a minimum of resource. And everything that's not effective will disappear. So what I need from you today is an open mind. You'll see some concepts that are a bit far-fetched, right? They're different. But the first presentation we heard this morning is, well, and I think the first three, we need a new business model, everything's changing. If you bring an open mind to this, I promise you, you'll get lots of food for thought. So, you ready for this? Okay. So when you look at services, there's 4 things a service business must get right. It's value, targeting the right customers. We spoke a little bit about that already. System support, and Jolyon told us a lot about that. I'll give it a little bit of a different spin. And cost. And nature is a great, great teacher of minimizing cost, doing more with less. This approach has been used a lot in architecture, engineering, and stuff. But it hasn't been applied a lot to business strategy, business structure, and we'll do that today. So let's start with value, and everything starts with value. It does not start with the revenues. It starts with value. The revenues will come. And I did have a few thoughts when we talked about KPIs and what to measure. Revenue, I'm not sure whether that's the best KPI. Maybe we should think about different KPIs. And I really like the comment about customer employees. What's about employee satisfaction? And maybe that would be a KPI. And in fact, there is enough industries in the service business who use that KPI to an extent that it actually directly influences incentives. Now, that's a new thought. So how do bees create value? Jolyon talked a lot about pains, the pain points. Okay, well, the pain points of fruit trees, in that case, they have two, right? They need to get pollinated. They can't do it themselves. And they flower like April, May, for just about 2 weeks. So they need to get pollinated in that short time. If they don't get pollinated, the year is lost for them. And bees deliver to that, right? They pollinate, of course. And they're the only pollinating insect that hibernates as a colony. So if you think of a bumblebee, everyone dies, only the queen bumblebee survives. So they're not ready when trees flower. Bees can do that. What they've discovered is what we call a sweet spot. So they've came up with something customers cannot do themselves, and it's hard to match for competition. So whenever the capabilities of your company match with customer needs, that's what we call a sweet spot. And you will see it's not all what your company can do, and it's not all what customers need, it's what you can do best at the smallest cost. And if you look at some companies on the human side, a company that does that really well, who has discovered the sweet spot, is ING Direct. That's an internet bank. They're the fastest growing bank in 2007, and after that, they've done pretty well. And what's interesting, they always, pretty much across the globe in all the countries they operate, they're always top in customer satisfaction. Now, if you look at value is pretty simple, really. So customers don't buy products, right? They buy results. But with services, it's not only about results, it's a lot. In fact, it's nearly all about the experience, customer experience. That's what counts. And then you trade it off against the price. Warren Buffett says, price is what you pay, value is what you get. So they trade it off against the price and the excess cost. So how much does it cost me to get that service? In the case of ING Direct, they pay the highest interest rates in the industry, often twice as high. So how do they do that? They don't have any branches, no banks. And the money they save with that, a part of that, they give back to customers. And the rest of that money, they divide between profit, and there's substantial profit they send back to their mother, which is ING in the Netherlands. And the rest they invest in technology, customer experience. It takes 5 minutes to set up an account in the internet. You can try it. It's pretty much the fastest you can do in that environment. So they invest in technology that's flawless, and their help desk on the telephone is pretty much the best you can find in the service industry. So, results and experience. Price, it's for free. Do you know what your checking account costs you at the moment with your bank? Many cases, I discovered mine 23 euros per month at the moment I get charged. Access costs, well, all you need, internet access. So that's value. That's how their business model works. So I give you a few questions for the weekend. Think about how close is your service offering to the sweet spot? And what are the results your customers really want to pay for? Obviously, these customers do not want to pay for an account, just having an account. They want the highest interest rates for free.